Now that we have looked at the drum rack and how to use the piano roll to sequence out some loops, we're going to go through and look at a few different styles of drum beats. So I've just deleted the clips that I had in the drum rack, and now I'm going to create a fresh clip. So I'm going to double click up here and bring up my piano roll. So the first drum beat that we're going to look at, well, the first one we looked at previously was the house beat. So now we're going to look at a couple of different styles. The next one we're going to look at is a hip hop beat. So a hip hop beat has a few features, and if we're producing a hip hop song, there's a couple of things to consider. So the first one to consider is the tempo. So if we go up to the top left menu, we've got our tempo here. So right now it's at 120 beats a minute. So that literally means that 120 beats get played for every minute of song. So if I was to do four to the floor, 120 of these will be played in a minute. Okay. For hip hop, we want to be a lot slower than that. So I want you to click and drag your hip hop song down to about 90 beats a minute. So just to give you an idea of the tempo there, I'm going to enable my metronome, and you'll hear how much slower it is. So hip hop can range from slower BPM than that, so we can go down to about 75, all the way up to about 110 on the higher end. When we're sequencing out a hip hop beat, what we're actually doing is creating a break beat. So a break beat traditionally was samples of drum beats that were taken out of funk songs from the 70s. And they were usually sections of music where it was just the drums playing or something like that. So they called it the break. A break beat is not 4 to the floor. Okay, so if I was to have that, be incorrect. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to have the first kick landing on the downbeat of 1, and then we're going to have the second kick on the upbeat. Okay. The second kick is going to be on the upbeat of the third beat in the bar. To fill in the rest, we actually want to place our snares in. So we're going to create a snare hit on the second beat of the bar. So let's just have a listen to that. And then we're going to finish off with a snare on the fourth beat. So let's listen. All right, so you've got the bit of a lopsided sort of almost like a swung sound with that delayed kick. So displacing it from the downbeat and putting it on the upbeat of beat 3 just gives it a little bit more momentum leading into the downbeat of beat 4 on the snare. If we continue on, we need to fill in the gaps a little bit more. So we're going to use a hi-hat. So we've got our closed hi-hat. And for this, we're going to divide the beat in half. So we're going to have a hi-hat on the downbeat as well as the upbeat, okay, halfway through for each beat in the bar. So that should sound like this. All right. So that's our standard beat. Let's copy that over and we'll add some variations into it. So using Control, Hold and Drag, we've got the same beat, but now we're actually going to be able to embellish the rhythm a little bit more. So let's have another listen. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a few extra little hi-hats, add a bit of a skipping feel. Let's see how they sound. All right. And I'm going to add a clap on the fourth beat of the bar. Now, we've only used the close hi-hat so far, but if I add in an open hi-hat on the end of this rhythm, I'm going to delete the close hi-hat. So we've got our open hi-hat there, and you can see we've got some other close hi-hats, and they have a slight variation in the sound. So this really is just to create a bit more of a natural feel. Right now, that hi-hat sounds really robotic. So I'm going to spread my rhythm across the two close hi-hats with an open at the end. So if we go, maybe I'll just go there. Now let's listen to that. I'll just move this off the open just for now. Okay, so we'll go with that. Move that. All right. It's having a little bit of slight variation in the tone of sounds is really important to create an organic sound. To finish off, we've got our open hi-hat. All right, let's listen to that final result. All right, now we can mix it between the two from a standard. Oh, we should definitely mix this up a bit. And now we're going to the variation. Okay, now I'm going to create another variation on that. I'm going to add in a couple of kick drums. I'm going to add a kick at the end here. Let's hear what that sounds like. So by adding an extra kick right at the end of the bar, it just gives a bit of a lead into the downbeat of the next loop cycle. We can add, it's just about experimenting. We've got lots of other sounds on here that you can use. You can displace or add in extra kick drums here and there. So it's about using your ears and keeping within the context of the style that you're trying to create, but also being creative and exploring and experimenting. So that's a hip hop beat for you. The next one coming up will be drum and bass.